Dusty May, Vlad Goldin, Danny Wolf, kind enough to join us now and represent the Wolverines. Dusty, what's the emotion right now? You're getting ready to start your first year at Michigan. I know this is not your first trip around the block. You've done this at other places. But right now, what is the overwhelming emotion?
Overall excitement about our group. We're really happy with the guys that decided to join us and go on this journey. We did an interview earlier today, and I didn't even mention 3 guys that are probably in our top 6 or 7 right now, which shows the depth of our roster, which shows the potential we have. I could see us being a team that has a different leading scorer, maybe 7 or 8 different options of having that leading scorer.
How crazy was the offseason for you and your staff to try to get that group together?
Well, the off season is now the season, so I'm not sure we have one, but it was fun just to get to know these guys and to see them work with the humility that they do, how they interact with each other. It's a group that's came together, and you can tell they're about winning and they're about supporting each other.
But we saw on that graphic the work that you did in the transfer portal. A couple of those guys are with you here today. Help me introduce them, if you would, a little bit first about Vlad Goldin.
Obviously, I brought 2 guys that made me look even shorter than I am. Vlad came with us from FAU. We've spent several years with him, and it's been awesome to see his growth as a person, as a player, and he's one of the best humans I've been around. So it was natural for him to join us after he entered the portal. And then Danny Wolf was one of the first guys that we went after, and it made sense after we watched him play because all we heard was he was a 7-footer, and we'd seen him play a little bit. We didn't realize he was a 7-footer in a guard's body. So these guys have played well together. We have some really unique pieces that I think will be entertaining to watch and move around the chessboard. But more importantly, the character has been there.
And guys that have played in big-time games, NCAA tournament games, against some of the best in the country over the last couple of years. Vlad, I'll start with you. Why, for you, was it the right move to come with Coach May from FAU to Michigan?
I've said it before. I feel like I'm a big person of relationship first, and I feel like we've built pretty good relationship with Coach May and with coaching staff, so it was a pretty easy decision for me to choose Michigan.
What's the relationship like between you and Coach May?
I feel like there is not much we can say because I'm here, but I feel like we've done so much together, and he helped me like so much. Obviously, I haven't seen my family, and he helped me to feel like home. So it's a big part for me.
How hard has that been? I know you're originally from the foothills of the Caucasus Mountains in Russia. Haven't been home, I understand, in about a decade. How hard has that been for you?
You get used to it sometimes, but sometimes when something happens, when my sister gave a birth, that was like hard time to like not seeing the new member of my family, but you can adjust to it sometimes.
Danny, for you, obviously an adjustment to go from Yale here to Michigan. Why was this the right spot for you? I understand you do have some family ties to the University of Michigan.
Yeah, a good deal of my family's gone here, especially on my mom's side. My mom, my sister, lots of cousins, uncles, aunts. But, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think I was one of the first official visits at Michigan under the new staff. And at breakfast the first day, it was evident that it seemed like the coaches had been together for years. And it was really their first or second week, really. It was their second day together with the full staff. And it just speaks volumes to the character of the coaching staff. And they bring energy. They're vested in the players' success, team success. And that really stood out in the process. And then, obviously, it's Michigan. And it's a great school, rigorous academics, and then just what Coach May and the staff were preaching to me in the process in terms of play style and fit, and it just seemed pretty seamless.
Give us the Cliff's Notes version. What is it like for a player who enters the transfer portal, especially maybe from someone coming from either a mid-major or an Ivy and you're looking to maybe move on to a Power 5 school? What's that process like for the player?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I have nothing but amazing things to say about Yale. I had an awesome 2 years there. The coaching staff were great, but after the season came to its conclusion, my parents and I thought it was in my best interest to potentially switch schools, and I entered the portal as a do not contact because there was only such a short list of schools that I would be interested in, and I didn't want to be inundated by schools that there wasn't an interest in. I didn't want to waste anyone's time, and once my family and I came to a short list of schools that were both high-level basketball, the coaches were great, and the academics were there, and then it was trying to narrow that down by just feeling out relationships and seeing what's really beneath the surface. And I had a few visits scheduled, and after I knew Michigan was my first visit, and then after that visit it seemed like it's where I wanted to be. And I'm a big relationships guy, and I didn't want to waste anyone's time and just make the process be longer than it is, especially, I mean, all the coaches say it's fast-paced dating, speed dating, but I mean, it really is. And after my Michigan visit, I knew it was the right place, and I called Coach May and told him I was coming.
Well, you obviously said and did all the right things on that date. Obviously, you'd known Vlad for a little bit longer. These two guys, because of their size, obviously Vlad's been one of the most productive bigs in the country already. And you talked earlier about how Danny can play so many different spots despite being 7 feet. How much does that give you an advantage as you look to get mismatches when you get them on the court?
I think positional versatility is big for our team, but it's also big for these guys individually. And that was one of the things I thought was unique about our situation, that we could play Danny with Vlad at the 4, but when Vlad's out of the game, then he can slide over and play the 5 and have a little bit different role. And so it allows him to showcase his skill set and continue to develop in different ways. So it seemed to make sense despite what social media was saying as far as playing 2 7-footers. But we also feel like we put really versatile athletic guards around them that can plug some different holes. Roddy Gell's been phenomenal. There's going down the line. We feel like the pieces fit, and so now it's just a matter of us coming together and maximizing the roster.
Are you trying to tell me that social media may be making some suggestions that actually aren't true?
Sometimes they're right.
Every now and then, that does seem to happen. Let me give you the opportunity, because you said that when you got into talking about your team, you didn't even have the chance to mention 3 or 4 guys that could be really important contributors. Who are those guys in addition to these 2 who are with you today?
We've been very pleasantly surprised with Will Cheddar and Amari Burnett's contributions as returners. They have institutional knowledge of Michigan, how things work, and they have experience playing wearing the maize and blue. Reuben Jones, Trey Donaldson, those 2 guys are elite defensive guards that also can score the basketball, and they won about 60 games combined last year. And so I feel like I'm going to miss someone. And then our freshmen, all 3 of our freshmen have been real pleasant surprises in practice, and they could all find their way to the floor and make contributions. So we have a number of different options. We're still trying to sort out what it's going to look like, but at least we have the pieces to play with.
All right, let's get to some personal stuff, because there's some great stuff, Vlad. I understand that you have a beloved dog, Hank, known as Hank the Tank, that even has his own Instagram.
Of course.
Is it Bernedoodle? Is that correct?
Yes.
So why has Hank become such a celebrity for you and amongst your team?
Because he bites sometimes, and that's kind of pretty noticeable as a dog, but I don't know, he's just fluffy, and I guess people likes him, so.
Has he become the team mascot in a sense? What's happening there?
I think if our team can play with the same aggression that Hank attacks every human with, then we'll be in good shape.
Especially Danny.
Yes.
Not like me.
Vlad, my understanding is you were also a competitive wrestler in your youth. Did that have to stop with a growth spurt?
Yeah, when I started growing up a little bit, I started losing some matches. It wasn't fair, so it wasn't not my fault, but they started grabbing my legs, and I understood it's time to go. It's cannot be like
Hopefully
that.
Coach Sean's not watching back in
Yes.
Ann Arbor now, recruiting Vlad for the wrestling squad.
Yeah, I think he has enough stuff going on. Danny, I do want to finish. I know in reading your bio, the volunteerism is really important to you. You've worked in soup kitchens, so on and so forth. Why is that such an important part of your life?
Yeah, I mean, my parents, I'm the youngest of 4, and they really vested in us the idea of like volunteering and giving back. And I mean, I'm fortunate enough to play basketball at the University of Michigan, and I say it every day, there'd be so many people that would kill to be in my position and in my shoes. So, I mean, just trying to give back in the littlest ways possible, and I just feel like that goes a long way.
Very well said. Great representatives of the University of Michigan. Danny Wolf, Vlad Goldin, Dusty May, really appreciate the time. Really appreciate you guys being with us, and best of luck this coming season.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.